Nicholson here. If you could, there are seats like raise that power.
Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand for invocation and pledge.
Heads bow overhead. Silent prayer. Please pray for some better weather. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lindsay. If you'll join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please give the roll, please.
Yes, they do.
Gary Hodge, Ward 1. Here. Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Louis Tonsmeyer, Ward 3.
Here.
Lindsay McDaniel, Ward 4.
Here.
Diane Tate, Ward 5.
Here.
Lori Pruitt, Ward 6. Here.
Thank you, Connie. First order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from February the 19th. Council, you've had these well in advance of tonight. Chair will entertain any additions or edits. And if there are none, a motion would be in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. We have a series of public hearings tonight. First one, Mr. Menino, if you'll get us started off with T14-01.
Thank you, Mayor. This is actually a second reading. There have been no additions or changes since the first reading. This is proposed amendments to the signed ordinance, basically housekeeping stuff from things that we came across over the last year. With that, it also had gone to the Planning Commission, who did recommend approval of these proposed changes.
Thank you. Any questions for Randy at this point? Thank you, sir. At this point, I'll open up a public hearing relative to T14-01. Anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against, may do so at this time. And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And council, it's now up to you for your consideration of T14-01.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Randy, please continue on with T14-02.
Okay, this particular item is a proposed text amendment to our zoning ordinance, to the non-conforming use section of that ordinance. This, again, is also a second reading. There have been no additions or changes since the first reading, and the Planning Commission did recommend approval of the proposed change.
Okay. Again, council, I'll ask if you have any questions for Randy on this item at this time. And again, I'll say thank you to you. And again, I'll open up a public hearing, this time for T14-02. Anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against, may do so at this time. And seeing none, I'll close that public hearing. And council, T14-02 is yours for any desired action.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, Randy, you've got that as well.
And this is our last second reading. Again, no additions or changes since the first reading. This is a proposed change to our alcohol ordinance dealing with the pouring licenses with cigar shops, adding additionally to beer and wine, to adding distilled spirits. They still require 70% gross annual sales to be derived from cigars, and the Alcohol Control Board did recommend approval of this proposed amendment.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any questions for Randy on this item?
Mayor, just a question. Mr. Menino, how often, this is checked out of your office, is that correct? The
Yes,
percentage?
there's only one cigar shop that has a license.
But it still would always be, if we had more than one, it would always be checked out of
That
your...
is correct.
Is that yearly or quarterly?
During the third quarter, we do the third quarter report as we do with the food sales.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We do have a first reading of an ordinance, and Wade, you're going to take care of that for us, are you not?
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr.
Good evening.
Wilson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. This is the first reading of an ordinance revision for to replace our existing floodplain management and flood drainage prevention ordinance. Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District has requested or required municipalities and counties within their district to revise their ordinance to meet their new model ordinance, and this will do that. Most of the changes are minor, from definitions to and however, we will be making some significant changes as far as some of the restrictions. We were actually going to reduce it down. Right now, our ordinance is a little more preventive than the model ordinance, so we're going to reduce some of our required elevations down, but we will still meet the model ordinance.
Okay. Any questions for Wade on this item at this time?
Just to emphasize what he mentioned, we're being required to do this by the state, and this becomes less restrictive and should be a little bit more development friendly.
You got anything for Wade right now? Thank you, sir. I'm assuming this is not an emergency reading, so we will take this up for our next, at our second meeting in March.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you to all. Ms. Courier, you have the next item, please.
Yes, Mayor and Council, the Downtown Development Authority Board of Directors would like to respectfully request Maureen Kirkland be appointed to the board. She would replace Jill Mitchell, whose term expired last month, and Maureen's term would set to expire February 18th, 2019.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Sam, you've got the next item, please.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, this is a certification for a grant application from the Good Neighbor Homeless Shelter to the Department of Community Affairs. You annually are asked to approve this and do, but basically what it says is that you know they're in the jurisdiction and that you have no problem with the grant application. It's basically a state checkoff, grants in the amount of $50,000, and I recommend you approve it.
Okay. There's no discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The next item, Mr. Porter, actually, yeah, you got the next one.
Yes, Mayor, the first item I have is an annual agreement with USIS for our third-party administration on our workers' compensation claims. This agreement, as alluded to in the work session, Keith Loveland pointed out the Section 5 indemnification needs to be adjusted, so recommend approval with that adjustment based on the city attorney reviewing that. But this is annual renewal based on our fiscal year for them to process our workers' compensation claims.
Okay. Any questions for Dan on this item? And if we were this in the work session, we talked about the indemnification clause in that, correct? So any motion were to be made, if you would have that motion include that language that needs to be reviewed.
Mayor, I'll make a motion if there's no question. Make a motion subject to the attorney's review on indemnification.
Indemnification.
Thank you. Clause on page 6.
Second to that.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Yes, Mayor, the next item is an annual support agreement for our bandwidth shaper that we use for our external customers on internet. This is something the fire department uses. The annual cost for this is $5,875.72, and I recommend approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Hasselbrock, you got the next two, please.
Honorable Mayor and Council, we are in need of a replacement of a pole trailer that's 1991 vintage and needs to be replaced. It's an all-purpose trailer, and we put it out for bids. Got 4 bids back, and we're recommending that you approve the purchase of a trailer for $19,925 from the low-cost bidder. And this is a budgeted item, and we have the E-Verify and Save documents.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve the bid from a low bidder.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please, Don.
Okay, we're coming to you tonight to ask you to approve the purchase of 2 transformers for the expansion of the Voestalpine project. They're starting construction on building B and C. and we need two additional transformers to serve those. And we put these out for bids, and the bids came back at $18,478 per unit, and there's 2 of them. And so the low bid is a total of $36,956. And there again, these were budgeted items, and we do have the E-Verify and Save documents.
Very good. Any discussion on this item?
Motion to approve.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Reinhardt.
Honorable Mayor and Council, I bring before you tonight a list of vehicles and equipment that have been deemed to be surplus by staff. Most of the items will be sold on govdeals.com website. However, there are some items that will be scrapped. Those items are noted on the list. They will be taken to a local scrap dealer or dealers. I recommend your approval to declare these items as surplus.
Is there any warranty on these items?
As is.
Yeah,
Buyer beware.
As is.
caveat emptor.
Any other questions? And if not, a motion? would be
Motion to approve.
greatly appreciated. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sir, we do have an item to add to the agenda with council's approval. I'll entertain a motion to add that item.
Second?
Wow, everybody made
Yes.
everybody made the
I vote
motion.
yes.
How about somebody second it?
I'll do that.
All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Item is added. Mr. Lovell.
Mayor, the proposed item is a resolution which will authorize you to file an application on behalf of the city to de-annex portions of Pagamine Road, Old Alabama Road, and about 0.1 acres of land that was annexed into the city in 2007. Will not create any unincorporated islands and does not affect any services. And it's not an area where we currently provide services. It is recommended by staff for your approval, and it was requested by the city of Emerson and Bartow County.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that item? And if there are none, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Very good.
Great job.
All right. Chief Carter, come on down.
Thanks, sir. Mayor and Council, I appreciate y'all allowing us just a few moments this evening, and hopefully you'll find it worthwhile what we got, and I promise I'll be expedient. But they say that it takes a village to raise a child, and I've always been of the belief that it takes a village of servants to actually truly protect a community. And as y'all know, in October of 2014, we went through our reevaluation from ISO, which is the Insurance Service Organization, concerning our public classifications that we have. And there was an extensive review at that time of 3 primary components as far as the service that we provide. One is through E911, our communications that we have, the water department and the water supply that we have within the community, and then also of course, the fire department and breaking down all aspects of the fire department. Well, I'm very humbled and very proud to be able to announce to you tonight that we have received our score and that we are now a Class 1 fire department that will come into play this summer. Now, we will be meeting with representatives of ISO on March the 19th at my office to actually learn and understand the true impact of what this ISO classification will mean for us here in our community and looking at the details. But we do know that the impact is going to vary the local residents and commercial businesses. The impact as far as their insurance structure, insurance premiums they pay, we know that it's going to be a positive impact. But there may be some slight differences from company to company based on how that particular company uses the ISO rating scores. So we will be encouraging as we move forward and throwing more information out to the public, we'll be encouraging all of our citizens, of course, to be in contact with their insurance company at the proper time to fully understand the depth of it. But going to a Class 1 fire department, what we need to understand, though, that the true impact for us is really going to be on the economic development side. When industries and commercial businesses look at coming into our community, they look at the ISO rating score. And the ISO Class 1 tells them that this is a community that is driven to protecting the investments within the community, protecting the citizens within the community, and it is a major sell factor for what we're going to do. Now, some of the things that we have had to accomplish in order to reach this particular milestone to be a Class 1 fire department is, of course, we had to establish a fire hydrant testing program and maintenance program. We established a hydrant identification program per the NFPA standards. We realigned our emergency response and territories and capabilities to become even more efficient with what the citizens have allowed us to have. Of course, we added the 4th station with manpower. We added the 4th engine company with that. We enhanced our fire prevention and also our inspection and investigation procedures. Working with Cartersville Water, we established the emergency intake on Etowah River. Also, the reconstruction of 12,000 plus feet of water line on Tennessee Street, 7,000 plus feet of water line on Etowah Drive, establishing a high pressure line between Center Road and Main Street, bring on a 3 million gallon water tank to increase our capacity located on Center Road, and also added fire hydrants and fire hydrant placement throughout the community. And we've been working on this plan since 2009, as you're all aware of. We established in 2009 a joint training facility with Bartow County on Pegamine Road. We enhanced our training programs, the certification programs. We worked through 911, the backup as far as our communications are concerned. And we also enhanced all of our internal procedures and policies within the department to get to this goal. Now, to understand the impact of this, fire departments are rated across the country on a scale of 10 to 1. 10 basically no fire protection, and 1, of course, is the best rating that is allowed. Now, here within the city of Cartersville, we have a strong history and a proud heritage of good service and support and protection of our community. In 1976, we went to a Class 5. In 1981, we went to a Class 4. In 2004, we went to a Class 3. And now we're simply here at a Class 1. Now, to understand these numbers, nationwide, according to the ISO statistics and data, there's 48,855 fire departments that have been rated by ISO. 97 of those departments across the nation are a Class 1 fire department. So that tells us that we are now part of 0.19% of the fire departments across the country that's going to be listed as a Class 1 rating. Here in the state of Georgia, there's 980 fire departments that are rated as far as a Class 1 is concerned. So we're going to be less than 1% here within the state of Georgia. Some of the other cities in Georgia that are Class 1 fire department include Macon, Gainesville, Savannah, Atlanta, Fairburn, Woodstock, and now the city of Cartersville. And this is something that we're extremely proud of. The graph that you see reflects the numbers from across Georgia. But I've got to tell you that none of this could have been accomplished if it had not been for several things. First of all, Bob Jones and his staff at the Water Department have been a great partner, very committed to their long-range planning to help us to get to this point and saw the overall impact as far as the community risk reduction. We're very thankful for them. Of course, Bartow County Water. Here within the city, we were very dependent upon Cartersville GIS and the IT staff to get us prepared for this. Jessica Pruitt and her staff at Bartow 911 was a great partner in this project. Of course, Bartow Fire Department along with Chief Millsap and all of his staff. However, the support and vision that y'all have had as a mayor and council and as a city administration and with city manager Sam Grove, y'all are the ones that have really helped us make this dream come into a reality. Now, I really want you to understand what a dream is. A dream without goals is simply a dream. But when we have a dream with goals, we then have a reality. And it's the reality of the fact that you have bought into these goals and you have supported this as we move forward that now we have the reality of being a Class 1 fire department. Now, I must also say that the firefighters of Cartersville, now and the ones before us, we've always had a strong belief and a passion for protecting the community of these citizens. And this would not have been done. And I'm very humbled by the people that I work with, because they're the very foundation of everything that we do. But we as a department, we're humbled to serve this city. We're very honored to serve this city. And I've always said that the Cartersvilles and the firefighters in Cartersville are a first-class bunch. Well, I guess after tonight, we can sit down and say now they're a Class 1 bunch. And I'll answer any questions if I possibly can.
Well, let me open up my mouth first. I had the opportunity, congratulations to you and to the entire department and to to everybody that had a hand in this. I was saying I was speaking to a group last night, and it proves that what I said last night is right. You know, the truth of the matter is what makes the city of Cartersville a wonderful place. I may say this differently in November when I'm up for re-election, but it's not necessarily the person who's occupying this chair, but it's the employees that go to work every day with a servant's heart and a spirit to serve and achieve perfection for the people that live in this community. And you guys certainly exemplified it through this. I know you were shooting for a 2 and you got a 1.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad you were able to accomplish that. I know that we're just real proud of you, and we're real proud of the effort. And congratulations, a great honor to have. Anyone else?
Well, we're number one about everything.
All right.
I think it puts it in perspective when you look up there and you only see 6 others, or 5 others.
We say 48,000 fire departments and 97 of them across the nation.
Congratulations.
Greg's giving me hand signals to say that the Moonlight Hike is done, or what am I doing? Oh, the Mayor Matt's March Mountain March. Thank you. That is going to be March the 14th at 11 a.m. That's going to be right after the Little League opening ceremonies. It's at 10 o'clock? 9 o'clock. I'll get there. I've got it on my calendar. I'll be there. So we got Little League opening day at 9 o'clock. And on March the 14th, and then we'll have Mayor Matt's March Mountain March at 11 o'clock over at Pine Mountain. We'll go up the mountain. If you've never been, it's an opportunity to give it a try, and also an opportunity, if you do, maybe meet a few new hiking buddies as the warmer weather approaches, and be able to take advantage of a great recreational opportunity. So, that being said, any other business?
Mayor, one.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate that presentation. We have other folks to recognize tonight, too. John, the electric department, went over to help the city of Lawrenceville, and we received a note. All of us received a note about it, and thanks so much. We were not hit like some other cities, and we really appreciate it when you represent all of us by helping out other folks. So thank you.
And one last platitude, again, to everybody in the room, last week's challenging weather. Again, we didn't get it as bad as we wanted to, but we all know how ready we were to take on the worst and do our best. But that's, again, as I like to say, it's only a test, and that's just another day for us at the city of Cartersville. And y'all continue to rise to the challenge through being prepared and being dedicated, and we appreciate it. Jace?
Motion to adjourn.
There we go. That's big.
You get a harumph out of that.